What's up, everyone? Welcome one, welcome all. We are back on another edition of Swinging for the Fences. We got a sub today, though. My man G Rising popping the cherry for me today. I've never done a show with you. I'm pumped for it. Filling in for DC. We got Mr. Tile Town. He's always looking good. Always got a hat on. He won't be eating a smoothie.
I just did a show with you last Friday, you donkey.
I wasn't on a show last Friday.
Yeah, you were. You and I and Draft Cheat did a show.
I was on a show on Friday.
You were going like this. I remember. Like, you can't forget you, buddy.
I can't remember that at all. I'm not even on the schedule on Friday. I don't
Talk
remember
about
that.
me eating edibles. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's bad. One of you two, whoever's in the wrong, that's pretty bad.
The fact that we have this particular panel, where I'm the one that literally can't remember something is like, whew, I might get checked out, boys. But hey, last night, let's do a little bit of recap. Strider Chalk night went great for me. For the 14% that faded, I'm sorry about it. Tonight we got Joe Ryan Chalk. I'm not going to be the one to talk anyone off Chalk pitcher after last night's performance. So first of all, guys, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Title, talk about last night.
Yeah, I mean, Strider was a clear lock. There was no way any of us were getting away from it. Absolutely shoved. Some SP2s came through. Angels, great call by DC. Oakland's bullpens, awful. There's a lot of scoring, though. Drury, you needed a couple bats. Put big enough scores that you needed. But today's slate looks fun. 9 games. DC will be on I believe DC's on the MLB Final Countdown show. I'll also be filling in for Holden. So I'll be an analyst on this show. I will be the host on the Final Countdown show. Get multiple people's baseball takes for tonight. Nice 9-gamer. Don't really have to worry about weather. You said Joe Ryan's chalk pitching, and yeah, he definitely is one of them, but I think it'll be spread out a little bit. Nothing like Strider, like we saw yesterday, but excited to talk some baseball with you fellas.
Yeah, I went away from Strider yesterday, Kurt, and I paid the price, though, my friend. But, my theory was this. On FanDuel, where I primarily play, it's a one-pitcher site. We're not seeing the 60 burgers that much as we saw 3-4 years ago. It was every 2 or 3 days you were getting, multiple 60 burgers from pitchers. In my opinion, now the way it seems to change with baseball, to me, if I can find a 40 spot guy that I feel comfortable with, I mean, the bats to me are what's winning these tournaments here recently. We're not seeing these low scoring games. We're seeing double digits on daily, on nightly, every week. So to me, I'm trying to get the 40 spot. I just came in 14th in a qualifier the other day and had 227 points when Whitlock pitched and got me a big fat 0. I cashed in all my tournaments, got a 0 from my pitcher. I played the heavy bats that day and they came through yesterday. The Angels was a great spot. Go look at the numbers from them. Those A's bullpen. They're on pace to be like the all-time worst by like almost double. So, they are just horrific. We as DFS players, to me, I'm just going to keep going. It's like the new Coors Field is the A's. You just got to play whoever's playing the damn A's. It's like the Coors Field. So, I'm going to keep rolling with them. I'm going to be looking at that today. But the question is, who do you pair with the A's and what pitcher? So, but we'll figure that out here today. So let's get it rolling.
First off, I'm getting absolutely slandered in chat for my audio. My setup is nothing's different, and everything is probably plugged in. So I have no idea.
You do hear a little static or something once in a while. I don't know. It's not top tier. I will agree with the chat there. I don't understand. But it's not the worst.
Nothing's different though.
How about my setup? You guys see my new setup here? I got me some my cards. I got my Gretzky rookie, Lemieux. I got all my good shit.
Where's Torkelson? He's got to be front and center.
He's right over here on the left.
All right,
I got him in there.
Get him off the screen. Move it a little further left. Yeah, so he's off the screen.
He's gonna make it, out of here soon. I think I got a one of like 25 of them, and I thought that card would be valuable someday, but apparently.
I wrote you can't bet 1,000.
Bro. Like, look at us, Tyler. Look
at my background. One of these days I'll have something behind me, but maybe not for a while. We'll see.
All right, guys. I'm crackling. I'm legit just gonna go. Hey, we're going ripping the rum pure, okay?
That's it. We at least.
I think he's cracking. I'm just gonna go fuck myself, guys. So I'm sorry. And then Tyler can just run the 2-man show because that's really annoying. I'll work on it right now. But first of all, let's kick it to G Rising. Big shoes filled with DC here. So give us the pitchers for the night. What are we looking at?
You're right with Joe Ryan, and I like the fact he's going against Nestor Cortez. I love it when two pitchers that are good are going against each other, and generally, they come through for us. So I'm going to be looking at those two guys on FanDuel. It's kind of hard not to go against Eric Lauer. So, against the Tigers are bad. I mean, if you want to go there, I'm not peeling off of Ryan. I'm going to probably stick with Ryan. I think on FanDuel, I can get some good enough bats that make me happy with Ryan. So I don't really see myself going anywhere else other than there. I mean, his record against righties is phenomenal. We know there's strikeouts. I can see Judge getting a sombrero tonight and getting 4 Ks. So I'm all about some Joe Ryan, but I mean, Nestor Cortez, another guy you could pivot to if you really want to. If you want to get low, I mean, we can be immature. I mean, and laugh at the Mets pitcher's name, old Butto. If we want to. I mean, that poor guy got probably teased his whole damn life. But I mean, you could look at somebody like that. I mean, if you really want to go low, Spencer Turnbull for the Tigers. I mean, he has some strikeout ability. I think the Brewers do strike out quite a bit against righties. I think they're generally in the last couple seasons always been up in the top for strikeouts. So, if you're looking for, a SP2 on DK, maybe those are a couple guys you could go to. But for me on FanDuel title, I don't think you can go any other way really than Joe Ryan, maybe Cortez, but I don't see any other path.
Yeah, we did lose Kurt. So, yeah, no, that makes I see it a little different. I think, like yesterday, I thought it was just Strider. I know you said you went a different way. I mean, there's multiple guys in this today's slate, like Nestor Cortez. I'm going to name on DraftKings, mainly talking. You'll talk mainly FanDuel. I'll talk mainly DraftKings. But I think you can go double spend up at pitcher with Joe Ryan at 10-5. Justin Steele at 10-1. Like, I don't think it's the craziest thing. He's been solid. Not for me against this Padres team, but Nestor Cortez, Charlie Morton, Blake Snell, Eric Lauer. Like, I could make a case for all those guys. You go down a little more. I know DC's been hyping up this Mason Miller, 5.7K. I don't think I want to pick on the Angels, so I'm not going to do it, but he seems viable. Griffin Canning's going to get ownership. So, man, pitcher's tough, I think. I see more than one way. With how much you like Joe Ryan, maybe even if you play 20 lineups, just, like, lock him in because I think it'll be spread out a little bit. My favorite probably – man, Nestor Cortez looks nice. It's only 50 in Minnesota, which is the same reason to like Joe Ryan too. 6.5K prop. Joe Ryan's 5.5 with a lot of juice on the over. I definitely like going to both pitchers in that game. Picking on Detroit's always fun. Eric Lauer, he's been solid. I think I like him more than Charlie Morton in that range. Blake Snell, he's going to get ownership, and man, it's like he has, of course, all the upside. 6.5K prop, the highest on the slate. Little juice on the over, but yeah, when he's a chalk though, like when he's owned on a slate like this with so much other pitching, yeah, I think my favorite route would not be going him. Going Cortez, Ryan, Lauer, I think are my 3 favorites. And if you want to go cheap, I'd probably say Canning. But yeah, I mean, man, these Oakland, they don't really have a lot of power, but they can put the ball in play. But I don't know. It might be getting hot. The weather's fine. My favorite pitchers, 1 through 3. Give me Cortez, then give me Ryan, then give me Lauer.
Yeah, we know Kurt's favorite pitcher is Butto. We already know that.
Butto Jenkins?
Yeah, well, I mean, no, Jose Butto. I think that's his last name's Butto.
Oh, that's the guy. Oh, yeah, the Miami dude no one's heard of. Yeah.
No, Can you play Ryan and Cortez? Can you play Ryan and Cortez together, Andrew Martinez? Yeah, I'd be fine. Of course, you can't get both wins, but it's not that much of a negative where I think they're 2 of the best pitchers on the slate, so I think you can.
I'll be honest. If I was on DK, I honestly think I'd go with Spencer Turnbull, to be honest with you, as my SP2. I mean, he's got strikeout ability. His last couple of starts, he looked good. He got beat up the 1 inning on the second time through, but he had 4 or 5 Ks. I mean, if I'm looking for a low-end guy, I mean, to me, as I said, I mean, it just seems like bats are winning all these tournaments. So, I mean, I'm stacking up the best bets I can, getting the best pitcher I can. I'm not jamming in these high-level pitchers anymore like I used to. I mean, I just think the bats today are a little different. They're a little cheaper over there on FanDuel. But, yeah, I mean, I'm looking for bats, man. If I'm on DK, I probably wouldn't jam in the 2 top guys. Maybe unless you're playing some cash game scenarios or you're not in a very large tournament. But if you're trying to take down a tournament with, a couple hundred people in it, man, you're going to have to be a little different and get some bats.
Show me your Turnbull card right behind you, right next to Torkelson.
No, there's no Turnbull. He ain't good enough to make that wall.
Torkelson is, Turnbull's not. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, Torkelson is, but you notice he's in the closest way out.
Yeah, I know.
Boys like Gretzky and Bonds and, the Michael Jordan baseball and the Shohei Ohtani 10, those are all good ones. They stay on the right.
Yeah, makes sense. Fair enough. Torkelson shouldn't be in the list of with any of those guys, though. But we'll let it fly.
I like that. So, like, what about I know the wind's blowing in Chicago. As to how much, I'm not sure.
Yeah, your
like
mic definitely is not. Your mic definitely is not great. I don't know if move it to if you're on a Mac, try and do it just like use the Mac audio or AirPods or something.
Yeah. Cover me. I'll keep trying to fix it.
Yeah, we'll go to.
Right, we'll get through it. We can put a man on the moon, but we can't get Kurt on the swing for the fence show. I mean, we'll get there though. It's all right. It's all right.
It's all right.
Did we get down the moon though? Did we?
Hey, that's a good question. I don't believe anything our government says, so you're right.
All right, we're moving on from that. G Rising and I'll get to Lefty Shake's question for you. How likely are you guys to 5-stack in your lineups? Yeah, just general MLB game theory stuff. 5-man stack is how I approach tournaments. Just 5-3 is really easy on FanDuel. Big T's talked about a lot. The 4-3-1, a lot of sharp people were doing. G Rising, what do you do on FanDuel 4-3-1?
I mean, 4-3-1. I read an article. Somebody did a research on the type lineup formations that had won most of the tournaments, and 4-3-1 ended up winning like 36% of the time. The 4-4 stack was like 20%. So, I mean, really, with the 4-4 and 4-3-1 stacks, I mean, you're winning over 50% of the time. I generally start with the 4-3-1, and then I kind of look at maybe, sometimes the optos or whatever I'm using, I decide that maybe there's not a bat or two I like. I might peel off a guy sometimes and go a different route and maybe have a 4-2-2. I actually had a 4-2-2 the first weekend of the season and shipped basically everything. But, I just got lucky on my one-offs. But, 4-3-1 is definitely the way to go on FanDuel, and I'd say 5 is definitely the way to go on DK. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. 4-3-1, 5-3 is how I like it. But there's chart people do 5-1-1-1. Like there's winning lineups. There's multiple ways you can do it, but I keep it easy. I keep it general. I know 5-3s and 4-3-1s are
know
good.
What you're playing in too. I mean, that's another thing. Title I think is important too. I mean, if you're playing in like a low dollar cheap tournament with 10,000, 5,000 people in it, I mean, you got to be pretty different probably to win that, where your ownership total might need to be, pretty low, like where, you might have one or two chalky guys. I mean, but if you're in a tournament with 100 people, 200 people, a single entry tournament with 113 people, which is the $100 one, basically every day on FanDuel, you don't have to be that crazy. You don't have to get that, off the wall chalk, like contrarian type plays. You can play a little chalk, maybe differ a little bit in one or two spots. That's all you need to do to win, to take down tournaments. You don't need to get too silly and too crazy. So, I mean, I think a lot of people try to be too hard to be different, Title, I think, now in these days of DFS. And I think, the people that you stay true to what you believe in and what you're playing, eventually you're going to hit. So, just keep doing the same things. Don't play blackjack and hit 16 one time and not the next time. It's the same shit in DFS, man. Just stay to your true self, the way you're doing, stick to your process. It'll pay off for you. Just don't get frustrated. Ups and downs of DFS definitely can suck.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, everyone has their own stuff. I mean, some are GPP, some are cash players, some are just MLB, some are just NFL. Whatever works for you. I mean, everyone being profitable is the biggest goal. But yeah, I mean, always try and learn and get better. But there's not 5-3 on DK. That's not the winning formula. You can win in multiple other ways.
Absolutely. I'm a big advocate when I first started, and I'm sure we've all talked about it. When you first start on, just start reviewing what happened the day before. Go back in your tournaments, look who played, pick out a few players that are good, and start following what they did. They probably put in multiple teams. You'll see the same kind of formation and just kind of learn from there. I mean, you get to go back literally and see like a poker hand what everybody did. So go back and take a look. That information is very valuable. So make sure you get in there.
Absolutely. Game by game. We got 9 games on this slate. Not too much weather to worry about. We do appreciate it if you do hit the like button for this content, though. G Rising, Chicago White Sox, Toronto Blue Jays, Mike Clevenger, Jose Berrios on the mound. Got a 9 total. When I see Mike Clevenger in 2023, I usually like to pick on him. Blue Jays are expensive if you want the big bats, but they got some cheaper ones too. What are you doing in this one?
Yeah, Clevenger's been a guy to pick on. This over-under's gone from 9.5 to 9. So, I do like to kind of pay attention to that here and see where these over-unders are going, especially those, at those numbers. So it is getting bet down a little bit, which, maybe concerning to some, maybe others. Toronto's minus 205. Obviously, Berrios isn't somebody I really want to pick on. That White Sox bullpen isn't the greatest, but I'll tell you, man, the White Sox been struggling as a team hitting the ball. I mean, I was watching the game yesterday a little bit, and the White Sox announcers are just basically just ripping on, their team. I mean, Robert's been bad. I mean, there's just been they just haven't been hitting at all. So, I mean, Barrios is maybe somebody, if you wanted to take a shot at someone, I mean, I don't mind that, but Toronto bats is something I'd be interested in. Especially if you're going to pay up, I'd definitely be interested in attacking Clevenger, as you said, somebody I'd be looking at going after, and definitely them Toronto bats. I do like the fact too that, we're looking at a game in Toronto. I mean, they got new dimensions there. I know that hasn't been, let's talked a little bit about the beginning of the seasons, but they moved in some of the fences there. So, I like Toronto at home. They're at home against a shitty pitcher. I mean, it all checks all the boxes for me, Title. I think it's definitely someplace you could look.
Yeah, that's a really good point, especially like this time of year right now in April, like 50 degrees at some places, 55, 60. Like it's not midst of summer with 90, 95 degrees in Atlanta or Washington or whatever it may be where balls fly. Toronto's one of the better hitting environments. So, yeah, I like attacking Clevenger. I definitely think Toronto is interesting. There's multiple. I mean, this is a 9-game slate. It's a fun one. I think ownership going to be very spread out on this slate. There's multiple pitching ways you can go, multiple hitting ways you can go too. I don't see like some clear chalk. Blue Jays definitely in play for me. Let's keep it rolling. Washington Nationals, New York Mets, 8.5 total. Josiah Gray, Jose Butthole, your favorite pitcher. I take you can't be targeting against your guy Butthole, but are you targeting John Gray?
Gray's one of them guys. He's either real bad or he was on.
Or Josiah Gray, not John Gray. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was on his last start though. I actually attacked him and he ended up, sticking it to me. But Butthole, I'll be honest. I mean, I've been banging around on some optimizers. Butthle's coming up in some of my optos, as a low price pitcher you could use. I don't really care to go there. I mean, he had, 5 Ks, I think, in 4 innings. I mean, I don't see them letting him go too long anyway. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of any of this game here too much as far as bats. I'm never stacking Washington. They stink. At Mets here at home, I just think I can find some better spots. I don't even think I'd put the Mets in if I was MMEing.
Hey, I like that take. I mean, Josiah, it's 57. I don't mind picking out Josiah Gray, but comparing that to Toronto, I definitely like Toronto more, and we're only 2 games in a 9-game slate. So, maybe even the Mets don't miss a cut. They have a 5 total. I don't think it's the craziest thing. Again, ownership, Andrew Martinez asked me, who looks like the chalk stacks. I mean, man, I don't think KC gets some ownership again. Toronto gets some. Arizona gets some. I don't just see one team. It's a fun slate, like I said. I think those teams all get some, though. Maybe the Mets won't make the list. Uriza might have cut them out of my pool as well. Next game, Miami Marlins, Atlanta Braves. We got Brian Honig on the mound. It's going to be a bullpen game for Miami, and then Charlie Morton on the mound. Braves got a good total, best hitting weather on the slate, about 70 degrees. Braves seem pretty. I like the Braves more than the Mets too. I like Toronto more than the Mets. I agree with cutting them out. What are your thoughts on the Braves?
I mean, the Braves, other than the Rays, seem to be pretty much, an elite team here. I mean, obviously we knew that going in, but I mean, they're showing it. I mean, Acuna has been stealing bags left and right. I mean, I think the only guy there they would like to get out of there is Ozuna. But, I mean, they're all hitting. I mean, Rosario starts hitting from the bottom of that lineup. We know what he can do from the past in his Twins days. I mean, shit, man. They get rid of Freddie Freeman, Matt Olson steps right in. I mean, they get rid of Swanson, and they're not missing a beat. I mean, Murphy.
Why can't that be our favorite teams?
Right, exactly. I mean, shit, my team's so far away from being the Braves, the Tigers, it's not even funny. But I mean, you got Murphy who DC'd it. I don't know if any of you saw on Twitter, man. Murphy's DC's man as a long shot to win NL MVP. He's leading in WAR. The guy's just smashing the shit out of the ball. So, I mean, I used him as a one-off yesterday in my core here yesterday at Run Pier and worked out pretty well, hit a homer for us. I mean, I did have some Brewer bats. I did actually catch the 2 guys that had homer, so I did fairly well. I stacked up the Angels, though. I didn't have
that's a bad thing.
Of course. But, hey, I mean, baseball, you got to have bats. Braves fit the profile for me. In title, I kind of find myself only with a dozen teams or so that I'm willing to even stack every night. I mean, I don't want to stack the Royals. I don't want to stack the Indians. They're not hitting me. They can score 8 runs, but title, how many homers are they hitting? 1, 2? I mean, I'm not interested in that shit. I want 8 runs, 6 homers, 5 homers, 4 homers. You know what I mean? Like, I want guys that can hit homers. I mean, like Royals tonight are going to be chalky. You look all over, the Royals are chalky. Somebody else can play the Royals, man. Let the Royals beat me. I mean, I'll bring it on. Let them beat me. I'll play my stacks with the good teams. Last night, if you played the Braves, you printed. It didn't matter. You printed. So, hey, they fit the mold. Title. I think this is a good spot.
Famous last words from G. Rison, man. It sounds like Big T. Baseball's easy. G. Rison's just feeding you the whole formula right there. Stack the good teams. Let people chase the Royals and all these other teams for weather and parks. Looking at myself right here. Hey, stack the good teams. Braves are a good team. Toronto's a good team. I like it, G. Rison.
That's part of the process, as I'm saying. Stick to your process. Stick to your plan. I don't go outside because everybody else is. That's when I'm not following the sheep outside the fence. Stay in your lane and do what you do. That's baseball. I mean, that's it.
Let them know. That's life, G. Rison. Let them know. Next game on the slate, San Diego Padres, Chicago Cubs, Blake Snell, Justin Steele on the mound. Padres are a decent team. They're a decent team, but Justin Steele's also a decent pitcher. What are we doing in Wrigley today?
Yeah, I don't want no part of
40 degrees.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want any part of a game that's got weather conditions like that. I kind of wish it was warmer and the wind was blowing, because I'd be all over attacking Blake Snell. I mean, go look at this guy's numbers this season. He can't miss a bat. He's like a softball pitcher. So, I'm sitting there thinking everybody can play Blake Snell all they want. I wouldn't even think about going there. The guy seems lost. I mean, last year he was lost every road game. He got his ass beat. Every time at home, he was fairly decent. I mean, I'm not even thinking about playing this guy on the road. No way. I think Justin Steele actually isn't a bad play today, but for what the numbers and, him being 11-4 on FanDuel, he's just not there with Ryan to get the strikeout ability. I don't think the Padres are going to yield that many strikeouts here tonight. They just that team that doesn't strike out as much. So, that's why I'm off him today. But normally, he's generally in the discussion. But I'm just not happy with the Padres, especially. Nah, I'll just pass. There's some other better spots.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't play the Padres. If I played anyone, it'd be Snell, it'd be Steele. Like you said, Steele's interesting. He's cheaper than Ryan on DK, $400. He's going to be a lot lower owned too. I mean, you could see him in high single digits. I wouldn't be surprised. So, yeah, I don't hate the Steele play. Definitely 40 degrees, Wrigley. If it was 80 degrees in Wrigley, it'd be the chalk. People would be going against Blake Snell in this game, but that's not the case. No bats for us in this game. Before we get to the next game on the slate, and it'll be a fun one to talk about, we appreciate if you hit the like button for us. G. Rison giving all his great takes. And I'm just here trying to steer the ship with Kurt's audio not doing too well. So like button. Subscribe button. We always do appreciate it. G. Rison, here we go. Your Tigers, my Brewers. Spencer Turnbull, Eric Lauer on the mound. We got a 9 total. What are we doing? Are we stacking the Brewers, G. Rison?
I went after the Brewers. I went for the Brewers yesterday with Boyd. I don't mind the Brewers here, but Turnbull's really a guy that's frustrated me over the time. I've always thought Turnbull's a guy that can get beat up a little bit, come back off his surgery. I mean, I just don't think this is a guy that really gets beat up. I mean, I'm just not a fan, but I will say that bullpen of the Tigers has been pitching a lot better than they had at the start of the season. So I wouldn't get sucked into where them bullpen stats. They've actually been pitching pretty well. Yesterday, I think to close that game, I want to say the 3 relievers that came in only threw like 9 pitches, 5 pitches, and like 9 pitches or something like that. I mean, they just mowed through that lineup there, but they're always in play. I mean, in this time of the year, Milwaukee is not a bad hitting park this time of the year when it's kind of cold being indoors. So, I don't mind that at all. I'm just not a fan of stacking against Turnbull. I like Lauer against the Tigers. Tigers are just bad. They're bad. What can I say? So Lauer's definitely a guy that I think on FanDuel could get me 40. And let's remember on FanDuel, you get a win and a quality start. You go 6 innings, you get me 5 or 6 Ks, maybe only give up 1 run. I mean, we're staring that 40 burger right in the eye that I'm looking for. So I'm not asking for the moon. I'm just asking you to get me by. So, and then I'm going to try to win it with some bats. So Lauer's definitely a guy I think's in play. If you need some more salary, you're not happy with your lineup. I've been truly building bats first, Title, and then kind of looking at where my pitchers are in the beginning time of my DFS 10, 8, 9 years ago, I always started with my pitcher. But these last couple of years, especially this year, I've been starting with my bats.
No, it makes sense. And on this slate, I think it makes sense too. I mean, there's levels at each level. I can make a case for a certain pitcher today. So whereas yesterday, like Strider was 88% owned on DK, where you have to play two pitchers. I mean, on that slate, I could make a case not to play Strider. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on this slate. As far as your take on Turnbull, I mean, he's going to be low owned, I believe. So if you get a single digit owned pitcher, you can go a little chalkier bat. Sounds like G Rising might do that. Next game on the slate, New York Yankees, Minnesota Twins, 6.5 total. Cortez, Joe Ryan on the mound. We had interest in both pitchers. You just want to say fade and move on, G Rising, or you got something else?
Yeah, definitely got fade. Definitely interest in both pitchers. But I'll say, hey, if you're MMEing, I would not be hesitant on either stack and either side of this game. I mean,
you like them more than the Mets?
Well, no, I mean, if I'm MMEing and I'm throwing in, 150 lineups, I mean, I might think about hedging it, playing a lineup against these two pitchers who are probably going to be two chalky teams. I mean, if one of them gets blown up, one of your lineups is going to be up there. I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I mean, generally when it's a situation like that, sometimes it's just worth, if I'm playing, like a cheap tournament or there's a $15 qualifier, knowing that you got to beat 3,000 or 4,000 people. I mean, the most uncomfortable plays are the ones that generally win them tournaments. So, I mean, I don't mind it. So, I mean, hey, I'm not telling you to put $100, $20, $30. I mean, $3 or $4 if you want to make one lineup, I wouldn't think it's a bad idea. Yeah,
fair enough. There's other teams I'd probably prefer to use that they're going to still be 1 or 2%, whatever it may be. But yeah, any 2% stack in baseball, it can happen. We've seen it multiple times in high variance sports. So.
The A's yesterday,
and we're getting right into that game. Oakland A's, Los Angeles Angels, Mason Miller, Griffin Canning on the mound. So it's an interesting one. Angels will be a team that gets some ownership. Talk about Oakland bullpen. They're awful. Mason Miller kid, though, he has some hype. I know DC's talked about him. Not sure how long he's going to go, and that's a big question, too. Like, if you tell him he's going to throw 90 pitches, G Rising, I mean, I don't think it's the craziest idea. Like, I would not be surprised on the Up to Lock show. DC says Mason Miller's my guy. It might be in his core right now. I haven't looked. But I would not be surprised about that one bit. Interesting spot, though. Angels have a good total. Maybe I'm completely off on what DC's doing, but what are you doing in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just playing the Angels against Oakland. I mean, this bullpen is absolutely horrible. Even if that guy gives us 4 innings or so, I mean, we're going to get half the game with that bullpen, who, as I mentioned earlier, is just on an absolute the worst bullpen of all time. I mean, it is not even close. I mean, it is like beyond bad. So to me, I mean, a 7.03 ERA, they've given up 76 earned runs. Their whip is 1.7. I mean, they almost have as many walks as strikeouts. I mean, they're terrible. So I'm all over this this Angel team. I mean, Renfro's been hitting really well. Ward up at the top's been decent. I think there's just some guys up and down. Now, I'm not a fan of the bottom part of the Angel lineup, but, I just think the top part of that lineup is just too good. Trout's been hitting, and that's why I'm kind of thinking, maybe we need to pay down a little bit at pitching, and maybe why a guy like Eric Lauer is going to be in play today. So I definitely like the Angels. I think they're the place to look today, my number one stack. I'm just going to keep going after the A's. Baseball isn't hard, Title. But I mean, they're that bad. I mean, let's just keep doing it. It's the new Coors Field. A's equals Coors Field.
A's equals free money. I like it. DC said the same thing yesterday, and I went to look at his content. He has Mason Miller pretty high up there, and he has the Angels pretty high up there too. So I guarantee he's probably going to go on Up to Lock show and say, yeah, I like Mason Miller's stuff. Dude throws about 100. Can get some Ks. He's cheap. But on the other side, once the bullpen comes in, Angels are going to get him. It's probably what I see DC saying. And it's not like Miller, I mean, he can let up a couple runs. Who knows what goes? So, yeah, Angels make sense. They're going to be pretty chalky, though. I do think I like Toronto and the Braves more personally. Keep it rolling. We got 2 games left on this slate, though. 414 watching, 117 likes. Man, that's hurtful, man.
Oh, hit that button, man. Don't take you but a second.
200 for G Rising right here. He's giving out too many goods. Baseball, he's giving out free money. He's saying he's giving out free life advice. Takes a second. Takes a second. Hit that like button for us. We appreciate it. 2 games left, G Rising. Next game on the slate. Going to get some ownership. I know you're not playing the Royals. Are you going to play the Diamondbacks? Brady Singer, Ryan Nelson on the mound, 9.5 total.
Yeah, so Brady Singer, 5 earned runs, 8 earned runs, 5 earned runs. His last 3, he's given up 5 homers, and they're still letting him throw 80 pitches title. It's almost like a DFS dream for us guys. So, yeah, I think Arizona is another stack you definitely need to look at. Obviously the weather's warm. Royals, they're one of the worst teams in baseball. But I'm not interested in any Royals bats at all. I'm not even thinking about it. Royals are a team I've just crossed off my list. Tigers are another one. Indians are another one. I'm not playing these teams. They don't hit homers. I'm not interested in teams that play small ball. That's definitely what the Royals have been doing. Now, if a guy like Franmil Reyes or something in the Royals is in a decent spot, I mean, I like some Franmil. He's a guy that can get you 2 homers. Bobby Witt's been okay, but as one-offs, I'm not stacking them though. But shortstop's kind of been difficult at times. I like that Witt on FanDuel can play short and third.
So he's been cheap forever too. He's been owned
32, 3,300. Yeah. He's putting up, teens every night, 15, 12, 18. So I don't mind Bobby Witt as like a stack, but I'll be all over these D-backs tonight. I think they're in a really good spot. This Angel bullpen or this Royal bullpen isn't much better. They're right below the A's, 6.30, a 1.58 whip. They have given up 56 earned runs, which is actually second worst. The A's give up 76. That's how bad they are. So without the A's, the Royals would be the worst, and they're 20 runs worse than the Royals. So that's what I mean. Just keep stacking up against the A's. But D-backs for me, definitely. I just want to see that lineup. Walker's been hurt a little bit here. They kind of mixed up that lineup a little bit these last few days. So that's a game here, later start. I want to see what that lineup looks like.
You got it. You ready?
Yeah.
2 minutes ago, or no, not 2 minutes, a little while ago, 20 minutes ago. Rojas, Marte, Corbin Carroll, Walker, Gary L. Smith, Moreno, Thomas, Perdomo. So pretty standard. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, I like that Walker's
like one through 9, or certain ones stand out as your favorite?
I'd probably be like 1 through 6, maybe. I don't mind. Walker's been a big part of that lineup. Him getting hurt, that took out a pretty big bat out of that lineup. So I definitely like him coming back today, with him being out the last few days. So yeah, that they can steal bags. I like that stack today. I think they're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, DC talks about it. They run a lot. Corbin Carroll single, walk, turns into a double. Like teams that run, and then they add up and force mistakes on the other side. Yeah, sign me up for the D-backs. I like everything you're saying about them. One of my favorite stacks as well. 1 game left. Looks like the plays of the day going to be held in Discord. I lost faith. I admit I lost faith. We need 55 more likes in 1 game. Not sure how long it's going to take to talk about either, but we appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Regardless, St. Louis Cardinals, San Francisco Giants, Jake Woodford, John Bravia. It's going to be Junis. What, are they going to do first inning with this other guy and bring in Junis or something? But Junis is going to throw a majority of innings in the beginning, but mainly a bullpen kind of haze. I'm seeing it. Not much interest for me in this game.
Yeah, me either. San Fran obviously is a park. If you listen to Big T, he'll tell you he'll never play in San Fran. Even though he loves him some Wilmer Flores against the lefty.
Darren Ruff, Wilmer Flores.
Yeah, he talked to them guys against lefties. But, I'm not really interested. St. Louis has been a team, though, that's been interesting. They've been smashing the ball a lot. We saw them when they played a shitty team last week, and one of the guys had, I don't remember, one of my one-offs, one of the days, shortstop, had a bunch of points for. I don't remember now. I play so much, but
that's just every day. Another day.
Yeah, it's like your brain starts putting them all together. Like I can't remember, but some certain things stick out to you. Like me coming in 14th, scoring 227 with my bats and getting 0 from my pitcher. I'll never forget that. Like that will just eat me up. 35 title I ship, and I'm going to the damn finals. I'm like. 35 is shit for a pitcher. I was just like, come on, man.
That's the game we played, G-Rise. And I should say we. I don't really play the Qs near. One sport Qs are enough for me. But, yeah, that's the Q game. You take second, you get a bag of chips.
Yeah,
you get first.
Shit. The worst is when you tie. I've tied for a couple before, and then you got.
Then you just got to play that. I'll take a head-to-head. I'll take a tie over a second place any day of the week.
Well, that's what I call. That's when I call one of my cash game buddies. Hey, I can't have my GPB mind thinking this way because I'll probably get dusted.
Yeah, I like it. If you want Andrew Martinez, that was all the games. Again, 200 likes. I'll check back soon. Hopefully, we do get it. King of Smack likes those San Francisco lefties. Ender Martinez, if you wanted to play against Morton, would a 3-man Miami stack be fine? Yeah, I mean, if you want to target Morton, that's obviously the way to do it. It's not for me. A 9-game slate, there's enough good spots. But, man, I mean, it is nice in Atlanta, I guess. I don't know. It's no for me, but obviously if you want to pick on Morton, Miami is playing Morton, so then you go that way. What do you think, Eisen?
I mean, when I'm looking at things and, I'm trying to be contrarian, I try to think, what is the percentage that this actually may happen? Like, what are the percentage yesterday the A's are going to score 11 runs? Out of how many times is that going to happen? It's probably only going to happen 1 out of 20 times, if that. I mean, I don't really want to bet on something like that. I mean, I'm not. And if I do, I better get some really good pot odds the way I'm looking at it. That's why
I don't even know why I asked you. You said stack good teams, don't stack bad teams.
Right.
Miami's
but that's
not
what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going outside that with a long shot. Like, I feel like I have a better long shot with a team like the A's or the Dodgers or, somebody that's not being talked about that has a good offense. That's just the way I feel. I mean, I'd just rather stack them up and try to get into a bullpen. And most of all the stats that DFS information that's out there that everybody consumes is based off the pitcher that starts that day. And we're seeing it now, Title, where pitchers are barely going through the lineups twice. So you really got to incorporate these bullpens more as time goes on. And that's why I said, just go against the A's, man. They stink.
If you had to pick one gross stack, like going to get 5% ownership, not expected to win, low total, who would it be? Then we'll get on out of here.
5% ownership, low stack. I would go Cubs because I think Blake Snell sucks.
I like it. Man, that's a tough one.
I think that would be my best low shot of the night of a stack that I think has a good chance of shipping.
I'd probably go Cardinals. Just a guaranteed 9th inning at bat, good offense, just not going to be played. They are pretty expensive. There are cheap bats at the bottom. That's probably what I'm going to do. All right, though, G. Risen and I tackled this 9-game slate for you. We will be back in 35 minutes, the premium show. DC, myself, I think Stevie Boyd, I could be wrong on a couple of those names, but we'll be talking some baseball. They already did do the NBA hardwood show early. Big T, JSU, talk some hoops, 3-game slate tonight. Some big prize pools. We'll drop our plays of the day in the Discord. If you have not hit the like, we appreciate it if you do. That's going to do it for us, though. Appreciate talking some baseball with you, G. Risen. It was fun. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Always fun, man. Good luck tonight for G. Risen. I'm Title Town. Good luck, everybody.